Hello, guys, and welcome to a brand new video. Today, I'm here with The Dangers in My Heart, episode number 10 reaction. Alright, the previous episode, it was one of the most wholesome episodes of the series. And so, basically, what happened is that at first, Yamada wanted Ichikawa's line ID. However, he didn't realize that, like how Ichikawa is. So, later on, when he realized, he was like, alright, next time Yamada asks for my ID, or kind of like, hints towards it, I'm going to give it to her. And then there was the second part where there was a little bit of a I wouldn't call it a misunderstanding, but this is Ichikawa's way of doing things. Whenever he realizes or thinks and believes that he won't be able to get something, he tries to act as if he doesn't want it because he so that he doesn't get disappointed. Same thing with Yamada. He just assumed that Yamada's way out of his league, so that's why he always tries to push them aside, which is the same thing that he does over there as well, with the whole thing with pick up senpai, that guy. And he tried to ask Yamada out. However, Yamada kind of said that no, I'm not going to go with you. At which in the library, Yamada kind of went close to Ichikawa to show pick me up senpai, like he so that he goes away. That's what Ichikawa thought. Ichikawa thought she was using him. And yeah, so basically he tries to act cold towards Yamada, doesn't really interact with her, at which Yamada obviously goes and asks him like, what is the problem. Again, he tries to shove her aside and go away, but she starts crying, and then he realizes his mistake, and he realizes that, yeah, this is what I usually do whenever I believe or think that something is this is something I won't be able to get. I always act as if I don't want it. So it's kind of similar to what is happening here. So he apologizes and he's like, nah, it's fine. I don't have any problem with you. At which, obviously Yamada is happy. And later on, they kind of make a plan to go out on one of the vacationing days, at which Yamada was also able to get his line ID, alongside that. So, successful, mission successful by the end of it. So let's see what happens in this episode. I'm guessing they're going to go out together in this episode. Let's see. So yeah, episode number 10. Let's get started. I'll be putting the subtitles on the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference. And let's begin. Alright, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, here we are. Local station. Yeah? Wow. Oh, there she is. She's waiting. She's also waiting. Oh, she also thought that he's not here. Yeah, look at him. Oh wow. Yep, that's Yamada. Um wow. Alright. Wow. Did she even bring the manga? She probably did. Well, it's yeah. Hmm. All right. Nice. So today's episode will be them hanging out, I'm guessing. Okay, let's see. You think so? Ichikawa? Yeah? Oh my god. Oh, he's also. But yeah, exactly. Yes, there you go. Nice. All right. What? Oh, the manga. Wait, what? Okay. It's just behind them. Okay. Um. Obviously, she's brought him to a to a restaurant. Oh my god. You think so, Ichikawa? Oh my god, that's a wow. Yeah. Well, look at this place. None of this is getting in his head. He is clueless. Oh boy. Really? Oh, because because it's a girl. Because there's a girl there. That's why. Oh my god. I think so. That's what I think. Yep. She did her hair. Ah. Hmm. Yeah, like. Uh, wait. No, she. Okay. He kind of complimented her mom if you think about it like that. So that's why she's. Oh no! Wait, she's angry because. Oh, because in the previous one of the previous episodes there was a. Wait, how much I wasn't able to. Yeah, it's expensive. No. Then this will be the sharing. This will be the sharing event. I'm guessing. Damn. Um. Okay. He's freaked out because of. Because yeah. Mm. Mm. Nah. Oh wow. Okay. No, I feel like she's legitimate. Oh, that was because he called her mom. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. He's freaking out. Berry deluxe pancake set. Oh wow. Well, there you go. He's very happy. Okay, the food or them? Oh, okay. Well, it's fine. Whoa, what the? Yo, she inhales her food. My God. I thought there will be a little sharing event, but this is Yamada we are talking about. That's why no sharing event. Wait, what? Oh my God. Hmm. Did he like save it or something? I think. Um. Okay. Oh. Wow. What? Damn, even the water is sweating. Crazy stuff. Bubbly shopping trip. Yeah. 20 pound. Hmm. Yeah. He probably like say the pink one. Wait, which one did? Oh well, yeah. Did he pick the pink one? All right, calm down, kid. Oh my God. There you go. He picked the pink one. Wait. Oh wait, she's wearing both of them. Yo. Oh no, um it's his sister. Wow. Oh God. Yeah, I think he's too embarrassed for that. Oh no. Oh no. Um, yep, I knew this was going to happen. There you go. Oh boy. Oh no. Stuck. The, oh no, she's okay. Oh boy, these questions. Oh my god. I yeah, she's just window shopping, I guess you could say. Oh, maybe she'll buy it now. You're yeah. Oh no. Uh, hmm. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Well, obviously because she was the one who invited you. Hmm. Oh no, this she's going to take this. Hmm. Yeah, he's like it's fine. I liked it. There you go. It's like I'm not really like putting on a pretense. Oh, the Boku. Okay, interesting. Oh, Christmas tree or the lightings? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he never really goes out of his house, especially in these days. Oh, never mind. Okay, okay. That was the whole reason why they came, but oh no, it's crowded. What the hell? Oh no, hopefully they don't get separated. Oh no. Oh, this is not good. Is that Yamada? Who is that? No, that's not. Is that? Is it sweating? Yep, it's him. Her. That's how. And she's kind of hesitating because of her sweat. That's why. Okay, there you go. It is her. Number 10. We we walked. Yeah, but you need to face this one day or the other, you know? Yeah, there's still days left. It is Christmas. It's still not New Year. I love the implication. She's implying that, oh, hopefully we'll meet before that again. Oh, God. Oh, message already? Wait, what the? What is he? She did she know instant transfer? Okay, I was like, what? She just vanished. What? Wow. Yamada Santa. Hmm. We walked slowly. I was so confused. I was like, wait, where did she disappear? Like, what is this? Like instant transmission? And then she was just behind the telephone pole. Hmm. And that is it? Or is there something left? Yeah, there is something left. Hmm. Well, everyone feels that. What the hell? Yeah? Yeah. Yeah? Wow. They kind of look the same if you look at them. Yeah, like the whole love thing that she said. Wait, that? Hmm. Oh, yeah. He did say that if you think about it, he did say not now. That means sometime in the future. Nah, come on. Because this is basically you. Oh? Yeah? That is not a push up. Come on, do it properly. Wow. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. What was that? All right. Okay, that was an interesting ending. So, this episode was him and Yamada, like outside on Christmas Eve, hanging out. And yeah, a very wholesome episode as always. So in this episode, we begin with Ichikawa coming up to the venue in a in a whole hoodie, face mask, cap, everything and then his hair obviously is like covering one part of his face, so he's just you know just there, like a little bit early. He's like, it's not because I was worried or anything. I just wanted to check out the venue. Looks at the side, sees Yamada's there as well, and as always, Yamada is with food in her hand. And I love the little I think that's croquet, isn't it? I think so. Like a mini croquet she has, like tears off the thing and starts eating. And you can see that she really has spent time to dress up. She has like earrings, her hair is done properly. She even has makeup, lipstick, and everything on her hand. And yeah, with a little handbag in which the manga volumes are there. And yeah, so she's just there waiting, and Ichika's like, is that really Yamada? And looks at her and sees that she's eating, and he's like, yep, that is Yamada. And Ichika's like, then why is she here this quickly? And he goes and like starts just going around her, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Obviously, seeing this, at first Yamada is like, who the hell is this creep? And this part is so funny if you see this, she looks at her she looks at Ichikawa like this, immediately realizes it's Ichikawa, and then she gets surprised and starts smiling. That was hilarious. I love these little changes in expressions and emotions that they show. But anyways, so yeah, Yamada Yamada immediately moves, stuffs her mouth with the food, and then yeah, then brings out her lipstick, starts putting that on, and she's like, all right. So obviously he's like, why are you here this early? She's like, I just wanted to check the venue out. All right. So Ichikawa was probably trying to hurry the whole process up. He was like, oh, then give me the manga and I'm just going to go. He was probably going to say something like this. But obviously Yamada don't let him do that. And Yamada's like, all right, you know what? There's a place I want to check out. Come with me. And Ichika's like, all right, fine, let's go. And they go together to a restaurant. Oh no, before they reach the restaurant, you can see Ichikawa's kind of getting bothered because, again, his whole inferiority complex is kicking in. And he's thinking like, oh, Yamada definitely doesn't know what day today is. Thinking of all of these things. And he's like, oh, she's probably here running some errands. And that is why she's here. And, just on the way, she's here to give me my manga book. And this is nothing. This holds no extra meaning behind it. And trying to convince himself, again, he's still doing that. He's still trying to convince himself that it's not that serious, because we just saw in the previous episode how he realized that he tries to kind of just downplay everything when he thinks that there's something that he won't be able to get. Tries to downplay it, outright reject it. Because in his head he's like, I'm never going to get this, so why have expectations? He's still trying to do this. He's still trying to kind of downplay the whole thing, trying to that acting as like a self-defense mechanism. And he's like, oh, she's definitely not because of me, but because of something else. And he's like, all right, you know what, let me just slow down a little bit. I going together with her at the same pace, yeah. So I love how he realizes, looks at the reflection. He's like, wait a minute, this seems even weirder. It seems like I'm her stalker or something. That's why he takes off the hoodie and the mask, and Yamada sees that, and Yamada's like, thank God you took it off, finally. And there you go. So I love how then she's like, oh, the bag. And Ichikawa was probably thinking like, oh, she's telling me to carry the bag, and he tries to do that, and she's like, no, not that. One handle, grab one handle. And there you go. Now obviously he has to go on her pace, because they're literally sharing the burden between two of them. So they have to go on the same pace. So there you go. Yeah. Now Ichikawa tries to kind of This part was kind of funny because you see Ichikawa's like, like holding one part and Yamada's holding the other part. Just behind them, there's a couple holding hands. And I think Ichikawa saw that and realized like, like what it seems like. And getting embarrassed, he tries to move away. And Yamada's like, no, don't go far away. Like we'll be bothering other people. Like, and just sticks to him. Anyways, now next they reach the restaurant, a pancake, not pancake, like a diner, I'm guessing, kind of cafe. And yeah, so she's like, oh, I've always wanted to like eat the pancake over here. Like, come on, let's go. And Ichika was thinking, oh my god, this seems like a date. So yeah, they're standing like on the stairs, and it's like a big line. So Ichikawa starts, sorry, Yamada starts with like a, no, wait a minute, just a minute. Oh yeah, yeah. Yamada starts with like a little fact. She's like, oh, like first date you shouldn't go to the amusement park because like the lines are long and relationships kind of go a little bit like might fall apart. Now this, I don't know, like what type of like reason is that? Like, but I guess, oh, I'm guessing she was probably talking about like literal first date, like when you've just started going out and something like that, I'm guessing, when you don't know the other person that much. Because I was thinking like how is that possible? Because if you really like the other person and they're comfortable with you, why would the relationship fall apart just because the line is a little bit long? I feel like it would get strengthened because you'll have extra time to talk to the other person. But I'm guessing she's talking about like literal first date, like you barely got like started got like like going out with the other person, and like a few days later you decide to go out on the first date or whatever. I think in that type of situation I can understand that because you barely know the other person, so you'll kind of just get a little bit awkward and so yeah, I can understand that. But if you're like going out for a long time and then you decide to go for a first date or something a long time later, nah, that's definitely not going to happen. Kind of like this situation where you see how obviously Ichikawa and Yamada has like a big, like a big time when they have like interacted with each other, like a long amount of time, and now they're like going out on together. So in this situation, obviously it's not going to get awkward because they know each other pretty well. That the whole conversation will keep flowing, even though Ichikawa doesn't talk much. Still Yamada is going to keep up the pace of conversation, and Yamada Ichikawa is going to like respond. So Yamada's like, you see, like, and this part is so funny because like obviously like you can see that Ichikawa's Yamada's so happy while Ichikawa's clueless. He's like, what is she talking about? Why is she talking about dates and everything? And Yamada realizes that, oh no, wait, I just said that. Like obviously this scene itself is a proof that Yamada obviously like thought of this as a proper date because she says this whole thing here, and then she realizes like, oh wait a minute, I just like, and I just told in front of him that this is a date, and she gets embarrassed. Like that's the like thing. And as always, Ichikawa didn't really register in his head. And even if it registered in his head, he probably is like his whole self inferiority complex is so like high that he probably couldn't even imagine that this could be a date. Like for him this is just like a little, I don't know what it is, but for him this is nothing serious. They're just friends, like that's what's going on for him, he thinks, at least. Now okay, so here Ichikawa's like, wait, why is Yamada bothered? And he comes up with like a explanation. He's like, wait, they say that. Wait, what does he say? The guy should go in front or something. Wait, now that I think about it, I've heard it's better if the guy stands in front of the stairs and escalators. In front of the stair and really, I have no idea. Anyways, never mind. Um, so he's like, oh, should I go in front? You know, and he tries to go. She's like, no, stop, don't go. And obviously, like if you think about it, you can probably realize why she was doing this because there was that girl in front of her, and she didn't want him to go. That's so funny. Oh boy, that's so funny. Okay. Now, next, after that, like they talk about her hair, and he's like, "Oh, your hair," and she's like, "What hair? Like, like, what about it?" And he's like, "Oh, like, like you did your hair," and she's like, "Oh, my mom did it." Now, obviously, he says like, "Oh, it seemed like your mom is very strict," and she's like, "Oh, like that's obviously because we're outside. Like, in my house, she calls me Anna-chan and all that." And here, Ichika's like, "That's pretty cute," and he's like, and oh my god, I cannot. Yamada's like, Ichikawa, gets starts getting pouty. Never heard you say cute before. Okay, I at first assumed that she got mad because if you think about it, she literally called her mom cute in that way, But obviously, I don't think she meant it that way. He just said like, "Oh, that's quite cute," just like a way, like of speaking. But Yamada's like, "Oh, I've never heard you say cute before." Now, at first, like I said, I thought like she get mad because of that. But then I suddenly thought, oh, maybe not. Maybe it's some other reason. Maybe because he never really says the word cute. That is why she got mad that he used the word cute here for her mom. But yeah, like I guess it's kind of the same thing. But still, like like she did get mad because of that. And if you think about it, she's probably mad. Like she's definitely mad because for her, she never heard him say the word cute before, ever, even to her. So that's why she's like, oh, like, like, I've never heard you say cute before, but now you're saying that to my mom. Oh, God. And Yamada Ichika was like, oh no, did I creep her out? Oh boy. Anyways, yeah, like this is Yamada we're talking about. She most of the times she doesn't really like dwell with the whole thing. So as soon as she like like is in front of her food, the menu, she's happy. She's just beaming, smiling. So here she's like ready to like like order the big pancake and stuff. And he asks Ichikawa which one, and Ichikawa's like, "Damn, these are expensive. Just coffee, like nothing else. I can't afford." And seeing this, Yamada kind of mistakes. Like she thinks that, oh, he's not like enthusiastic about this. He's not having fun. But that's definitely not the case. He's just broke. That's all. That's all. Nothing more. He doesn't have enough money, and that's why he's like, oh, just coffee. And also the fact that he has to act adult, like kind of like an adult. You see his like his whole edgy attitude, like how he tries to act like more adult. That's why he's like, oh, like like no sugar black coffee, that type of thing he's going to do. So that is why he's just like, oh, like like normal, like coffee. And then okay, so like hot or cold, he says hot. Blender americano, and he's like blend. There you go. So Yamada asks him like, "Oh, you like black coffee?" Oh no, so she says you like black, don't you? Because the clothes and everything. And she talks about how she also has black clothes, and she's like, "Oh, I'm not wearing it today, but I do have it, and I like I like it very much." And here, like, okay, I'm going to read this part. Ichikawa says something here, which I wasn't able to keep following properly. I'm going to read it now. He says, "I bet it looks a lot different on you than me." And she's like, meaning, and you can see how her demeanor changes here because like at first I didn't realize why she's talking like this, but it makes sense because she's a model, so this is like her area of expertise. So she's like actually paying attention properly and trying to see what he's saying and trying to kind of like like because this is her area of expertise. That is why her tone changed here. I realize it now. And he says that when someone with fashion sense wears it, it's always stylish and cool. But for me, it's just the only color I don't avoid. Okay, wait. So it's just the color I don't avoid. And she's like, like, like she's like, all right, you know what? You're correct. And he realized immediately, like, wait a minute, why am I mansplaining fashion to a literal pro model? But she's like, no, you know what? You're correct. And even my manager told me that. No, sorry, stylist told me that. And he thinks that she's trying to follow that up, but no, she's literally saying that, oh, you're correct. Like, she's not following up. I'm pretty sure she's legitimately like praising him. Okay, she's saying here that it depends on the person and their outfit, the colors. Okay, so I can understand what, like, like Ichika was trying to say. So basically, what he's trying to say is like, oh, for, like, stylish people who wear black clothes, it's like stylish, classy, while for people like me, like, it's like like, people like kind of call them, like, this whole thing about calling people gloomy, like, especially wearing, like, like clothes that Ichika was wearing. Since Ichika was wearing it, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be like, oh, look at this gloomy kid, the way he's dressing and everything. While if the same outfit, like, if someone like Yamada wears it, everyone will praise it and be like, oh, look at this, like, like, that's so stylish, that's so, like, fancy, like this whole thing. I'm guessing that's what he's trying to say, and that is what Yamada also says, that it depends on the person and, like, like what they wear. I think, like, all these things. Anyways, I also don't know much about fashion, so I'm also as clueless. But I'm guessing it's something like that they're trying to explain here. Anyways, so he's like, oh no, there's a lot of points I'm getting deducted from my, like, like main total points. So -5 for looking like a stalker, -10 for calling her mom cute. Lied about hating sweet stuff, -5. Made Yamada order, -20 points. God damn, mansplain fashion, -15 points. Damn. And he's like, oh no, this is bad. And he's like, drinking the coffee, and he's thinking like, oh, I shouldn't have come here. And he's freaking out, because of his social anxiety and everything. And also he's thinking that Yamada's not having fun. And it's so, like, crazy, like, if you think about the whole situation. Like, Ichika was thinking Yamada's not having fun, that's why he's getting sad and depressed. While Yamada, looking at Ichika getting sad and depressed, is thinking that, oh, he's not having fun with me. That is why Ichika was getting sad and depressed. Yamada's getting sad and depressed. So it's like a cycle. Like a weird cycle where both things that the other one is, like, not having fun. That's why they're getting depressed. So here everything kind of changes when they get the order, and Yamada looks at food immediately, like, her whole face starts beaming and she's so happy, and she's like, oh, like, take a picture. And now here's the thing, I was wondering over here, why is she telling Ichikawa to take the picture? Because I remember previously when they took a picture, it was both of them together. So I was like, why is she telling Ichikawa to take her picture, which she's going to post in social media? Like, it's kind of unusual, isn't it? Like, I thought they would take a picture together. It didn't make sense at the beginning, but later on it makes sense, because she says, like, oh, I'm not going to post this, I'm just going to send this to you. And that is why he told Ichikawa to take the picture. It makes so much sense. Anyways, she's stuffing her whole mouth with the food, and she eats it or inhales the food. Just like, I don't, this is one thing I don't understand. I've seen so many people do this. Like, if it's something nice, why do people just eat it so quickly? Like, shouldn't they just savor it and eat? I guess, like, like, probably because, they love the food too much. But if it was me, I would, like, savor it for a quite amount of time, like, eat it little by little. Like, at least not inhale it like that. But anyways, but I guess she could just order more if she wants, like, I guess that's another thing. Oh no, probably not. She has to take care of her, like, like, calorie count and all of that as well, like, so. Anyways, so she's eating, and Ichika was like, okay, wait, maybe you should, like, take a video. And Ichika also thinks, like, why is she taking a picture like this? Like, and like, is she going to, why post like a picture like this in Instagram, or a video like this in Instagram? And it doesn't make sense. And he's thinking of all of that, but then suddenly his phone rings. He sees that she has sent it to him, and he's like, wait, And she's like, yeah, I told you to take the picture because I'm going to send it to you. I'm not going to post this on Instagram. And this part is kind of funny because he's like really looking at the picture and the video like this for quite an amount of time. And Yamada gets up and she grabs his chin and she's like, look at the original person in front of you as well. Oh boy, I love how quickly she just starts pouting and gets pouting about these small little things. Oh, that's cute. All right, so after that, they have their meal and Yamada pays again minus point in his head, obviously. And she did give a explanation. He's like, oh, you don't have to worry about it. I'm the one who's like earning money, so yeah, I'm going to pay. So don't worry about it. And yeah, but obviously he is, going to worry about it because yeah. But then next, they're shopping and everything. She puts like a little cap on her head and she's like, oh, look at this. How do I look? And Ichikawa is like, it's fine, and looking at the disinterest, Yamada kind of gets a little bit sad, and she's like, oh, maybe he's not having fun again. But while he in his head, he's not thinking about not having fun. He's thinking about the bill that she paid previously. That's in his head. He's thinking about that. That's why he was kind of distracted. So all these things, and you can see that he looks at Ichika and Yamada and realizes like, oh no, maybe I made her feel awkward. And he tries to follow up, and he's like, oh no, it's everything is fine. I come here like I'm not awkward. I come here with my sister, and at which the whole conversation goes in a positive direction again. And she asks about her sister, and she's like, oh, you and your sister are very close, aren't you? And anyways, now she brings out two dresses, and she's like, which one? And he's like, oh, both of them will look are good. And she's like, no, you choose, which one? Which one do you like? And he chooses the pink one. I knew he was going to choose the pink one because the pink one looked. Oh no, wait! I think. No, he did. Okay, yeah, he did choose the pink one, I think, and she wore the pink one and then also wore the other one, I think. I'm guessing. Anyways, so after that they go she goes to a changing room, and he's like outside the changing room, and he's like, oh, this is like some kind of a scene out of a rom-com. Wow. And he's hearing that rustling of the clothes, and he's like, oh no, like this is bad. I have to stop imagining. And he gets it gets so out of hand, he's like literally like leaving. And Yamada's like, stop, where are you going? And yeah, there you go. And she's like, look at this. And then after the whole thing, she's like, wait, I'm going to wear the other one as well. Goes inside, starts wearing the other one. And here's where disaster strikes. His sister is here with her friends. And he is freaking out because obviously it's not that he's freaking out because her family members will go against this, but it's because his sister is going to tease him. That's why he's freaking out. He's like, oh no, if she sees me here with Yamada, this will be disastrous. My sister's not going to leave me alone. She's going to keep teasing me. And that is why he was freaking out and everything. And also it's kind of embarrassing as well, if you think about it, that because this is his image, his whole edgy image. To him it's embarrassing because he'll be his sister's going to tease him, and at the same time, his image is going to get broken down. For him, his important thing is keeping his image of this whole edgy, teenager image. So he's freaking out, and he's like, oh no, my sister. And he's freaking out, and seeing that Yamada is like, all right, you know what, come inside. And I knew this was going to happen. She was going to drag him in the changing room. Because that's the only thing I can see here happening. One of those tropes in rom-com shows. So okay, now his sister literally goes to the side booth, and they're inside. Both of them are sweating, freaking out, and you can see that Yamada's the zip, she wasn't able to properly zip it up in time, I think, and that's why she's kind of struggling with that while Ichikawa's freaking out. Now, oh no, wait, before this, something happened. I forgot to mention that. Ichikawa's like, Yamada said like, oh, like your sister, like why don't I go say hi to her? And he's like, no, not now. Here, now this part you can see that if you think about it, I didn't really think about it. I thought about it later on. You know, there's a bigger significance behind him saying not now. The reason is that this shows that he himself has started accepting the fact that he, like is getting along with Yamada, and maybe someday in the future something will happen. And that is like a big deal because if you think about it, up until now, in his head, the fact that Yamada could ever like go out with him or something like that was like something that he never really thought about. And he thought that it was like some kind of fantasy, never going to happen, impossible. It was an impossible territory in his head. The fact that he said that not now, shows how much of the whole character has developed, and he has improved, and he has started accepting the fact that, yeah, maybe, like from impossible to maybe, that's where it is now. And that's a huge deal, at least for Ichikawa, for a person like him who always like rejects everything which he thinks he won't be able to get. For a person like that, from impossible to maybe is a big deal, which I never really thought about here. Like I just thought like, oh, she was kind of teasing like, oh, like you said maybe, so like like not now, so maybe in the future. Is that what you were implying? I thought that was like a little like that just her kind of teasing like that. But this is a big thing if you think about it. It has a deeper meaning behind it. Not for like like in Ichikawa's Yamada's perspective, but from Ichikawa's perspective. Because Ichikawa said maybe, not maybe, sorry, Ichikawa said not now, which is a big deal. This means at least he is kind of thinking about it now, which was something that he never did before. It's a big improvement. I realized that in the ending part where, like his alter ego told him that, literally. I was like, oh yeah, that's correct, So there you go. Now, after that, both of them get embarrassed, and she's like, oh, it's so hot here, like I'm sweating. It's kind of like, it's like freaking out, and she turns to try to get something. Wait, just a minute. Like something happens there. Oh, okay. Wait. She says, "Oh, I ended up sweating. Though something I was only trying on." Oh, okay. Here we go. I forgot this part. She's like, "Oh, I was just trying it out. I wasn't going to buy it." And he's like, "Wait, you're not going to buy it?" And she's like, "Yeah, like what? Why?" And he's like, "Oh, because it does look good on you. That's why." And Yamada's like, "Oh, maybe I will buy it then." Haha. Turns around and like her zip is open, so both of them again get embarrassed. Anyways, like like after that, they are like going back, like walking through the street, and Yamada's kind of sad, thinking that, oh, he never had fun, and she's like, oh, like like I'm sorry, I I dragged you in here. And you can see that Ichikawa realizes here that, wait a minute, why am I like fussing about myself? Like I should think about Yamada as well. Like like all I'm thinking about is me throughout this whole like like little like like outing. I've been preoccupied with myself that I didn't do anything to put Yamada's mind at ease. And here he's like, in his own awkward way, he tried to explain. So he's like, oh, I'm not a people pleaser, like I don't really, with stuff that I say I don't like, I directly say that. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is that since I'm saying that I liked it, I actually like it. I'm not trying to actually like fool you or trick you, or trying to make a like like false like thing, like this is all genuine. Like you're trying in his own way as much as possible to explain that, yeah, he really had fun. And it's Yamada's like, I can tell. And he says, I mean, you never really talk about yourself. Okay, this whole part is lost in translation. What she says is that, okay, I'm going to say this part. Okay. In the subtitles, it's written, you never really talk about yourself like this otherwise. Alright. Fully lost in translation. As far as I could understand, what she says is like, Boku teita. So she says like, oh, you called yourself Boku. So there's obviously like, I'm pretty sure everyone knows this. Like, there's like two way of referring to yourself in Japanese. Not two, but multiple ways. But two main ways. That is Boku. No, three. Boku, Watashi, Ore. These three. These are the main ones. Boku is a way where little boys or little girls, I guess little girls as well, not necessarily little girls because girls usually use watashi. Boku is like a kind of like a male, like male, like children kind of use boku. Sometimes females, like children also use boku, but that's different. But usually it's like male kids, boku. Sometimes they also use watashi. Ore is a very, I guess you could say, a very, like, I think like a kind of a rough way of referring to yourself. So watashi is like the polite way. If you talk, as far as I know, if you talk to someone, like who you've not really met for the first, is if you're meeting for the first time, or someone who's like older than you, like someone who's like you would try to like in a respectfully way talk to them, you refer to yourself as watashi, like watashi. Boku is a more kind of sounds like a little like little kids use boku and like that. That is why a lot of people, like especially characters like Ichikawa, doesn't really refer to them as boku. They say ore. I think he usually says ore or watashi. He never really says boku, because if you say boku, like it's kind of like like a very kid way of like referring to yourself. I think that's basically what it is. Like I said, like this is what I know at least. Like, I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that is why he doesn't really like refer to himself as boku unless and until he's really speaking from his heart. That is why Ichikawa, like Yamada's like, oh yeah, I understand. Like I know that you're not lying because you said boku. Because that is genuine. You're genuinely saying this. And that is what this whole thing. Like I said, this part was kind of lost in translation. I think that's what she's trying to say. She's like, oh, you said boku, that means you're really serious about this. You're genuinely speaking from heart. So I believe you. I think that was what it was here over here. And yeah, like this whole that was the whole, like boku is like little kids, like boys, girls, they kind of call themselves boku. Watashi is a more respectful, polite way, watashi, and girls also use watashi. And ore is a more rough way, and there's a lot more ways of referring to yourself, like uchi, what warawa, watakushi, yeah, all these is a lot of other ways of referring to yourself, like it's just crazy. Like watakushi is like a more like sophisticated way, like ojo-sama is like watakushi. Warawa is a more like like an ancient way, like warawa, like like samurai, and like people like that, I'm guessing. Like Oshino Shinobu from Monogatari like always use warawa. And then what else did I say? um Uchi is like a, I'm not really sure, but I've heard a lot of people use uchi as well. Uchiwa, like yeah, I'm not really sure what situations you use uchi, but uchi is also another way. Like all these things. Anyways, why did I start talking about this? Let's move on. All right, next we get to see obviously Ichikawa and Yamada had that conversation, and she kind of wraps her muffler around him, scarf around him, and he's like, what is this? And she's like, oh, I wore it in the morning, it got too hot. And he's like, oh, I cannot see what is below me because it's so big, like the thing. And you can see Yamada's really smiling here. She's very happy. And after that, you can see that they look at the illumination, and she's like, oh, it's so beautiful. And he's like, oh, I've never seen it before. And she's like, wait, you've never seen this before? Oh, that's a lie. Now here I kind of thought, oh, maybe he's saying the truth because maybe he really didn't go out on this day before. But turns out he was lying, as he explains. He's like, that was a lie in his head. But I've never knew that lives could be this nice. So yeah, there you go. So he didn't technically lie. Like he did tell the truth. He's like, oh, I've never really knew lives could be this nice. Okay, now next they're going in the train. They're going to come back. How at the house, like so, like holding the manga, like like the bag. And here, like like his comments on how the grip is sweaty. Yamada's like, oh, like my hand sweated, and tries to like rub it off. But anyways, the train is packed, and they get in, kind of almost gets separated. But then Yamada comes in and grabs his hand, and he's freaking out. He's like, oh no, like is this actually Yamada or is it someone else? And he's freaking out, and he's like, oh no, like what's going to happen? Like if I try to like see if it's Yamada or not, and if it turns out it's someone else, like they'll like like label me as like a pervert or like a creep or something like that. So he's freaking out at that. And here he, for a moment, he's like, wait a minute, his hand, it's sweaty. It is Yamada. That's how he figured out it's Yamada. That's crazy. And then he also kind of grips her hand back, and Yamada is also just gripping the hand. And this is how it ends. It's so funny. Like it started with them just like carrying the bag, and now in the end they're just holding hands by the end of it. And they're like walking little by little, slowly they're walking. Look at each other, then look on the other side, and yeah, they just walked. And after that, they reached almost like Yamada almost reached her house, and she like her hand like she like says like takes off her hand. Here, Ichika's like, oh, like Happy New Year. Like again, he's thinking, oh, never, like after this, we're probably not going to meet. But Yamada's like, no, stop. There's 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th. Don't like like say Happy New Year, because that would mean that we're never going to meet in these small amount of time. Which obviously is a way of her indicating that she wants to meet again. But because yeah, that's the only thing I can decipher out of this. So I doubt Ichikawa realized that, but like because it's her way of saying that she wants to meet again. But I doubt Ichikawa realized that. Ichikawa probably didn't even think about it. And she's like, there's plenty of days to go, so let's not say that just yet. Okay. And then she's like, goodbye. And yeah, so it's so crazy how she even included 25th. Like 25th is literally the next day. So she's like, oh, like 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, so many days. Maybe we'll meet again in one of these days. So she didn't even take out 25. She even included 25th. That is literally the next day. That's so crazy. And she's like leaving, and Ichikawa's like, oh, look forward and walk. And yeah, this part was kind of funny because like he looks back and he's like, wait a minute, where's Yamada? Yamada's gone. And then I suddenly see like Yamada's behind the telephone pole. He gets surprised. And yeah, okay, so that little like that ringing sound that was happening, I'm guessing that was the ringing of like the 12, like like the 12 o'clock clock, the clock hitting 12. That was that ring. So that's why she's like, oh, Merry Christmas, because it's 12 o'clock, I'm guessing. I think so, I'm not exactly sure. Anyways, she's like, oh, Merry Christmas, uses her hair as a mustache. That's cute. And she, like he's also smiling. He says like, the holy night doesn't matter, Yamada Santa, but it almost feels like my feelings might get across. Okay, now after that, there's a post-credit scene where he literally sees the manga, like like the manga that he reads, the main character. You know what? I'm gonna go and look at the cover of the manga that they read. Just a minute. Okay. Yeah, the characters actually look like them. Like the main character kind of looks like him. The main girl also looks like Yamada. except the fact that the male lead is actually taller than the female lead here, which is obviously not what's like it's reverse here. So they look really similar. So they look really same. Both of them to the manga characters. Okay, so he's like thinking about all of this in his head, like like the scarf is there and like kept on his table, and this part is so funny. He gets up and he looks at the side and he's like looks at the manga character and he's like, Nigori Kawakun, what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm you. Like you're my alter ego, like, and I'm your alter ego, or something like that. Okay, and he says, like, think about what you did today. Not the perfect stuff, think about it. And he says that, you remember that part where you said, not today? Right there, think about it. And he says that, okay, this implies like you have a chance with her. This part, this is where I also realized, like, oh yeah, that one word actually holds a deeper meaning if you think about it. I really didn't like pay much attention to that. I thought that was just like a point where Yamada was kind of teasing him with that. But no, if you think about it, up until now, he never would have said something like this, because for him, Ichikawa is I always mix the two. Yamada is like a person who he'll never be able to get close to, whom he never has any chance with. That is why he always tries to act nonchalant, tries to keep a distance. That was him. That person saying not now, not today, which implies that, oh, maybe someday in the future, is a big deal. It's such a big development, because he's actually accepting it now. That is the thing. Like, the biggest thing that could change this relationship is him accepting the fact that, yeah, I like Yamada and I want to actually go out with her. As soon as that happens, this relationship will actually flow a lot more better and smoother. Because if you think about it, the only person who's kind of holding themselves back is Ichikawa. Yamada is all well and ready with this whole thing. She's so ready with this, while he is just keeping himself just restrained, because he thinks that he's going to get hurt in the future if he keeps expectations. So yeah, like, when his own mentality, his own way of looking at the whole thing changes, when he becomes acceptive and when he accepts the whole thing, that's when the relationship will actually proceed, because now it's still in a standstill because of that reason, because he's not ready to accept it. So this is a big deal, this whole thing. The fact that he said that not today is a big deal. This shows that he's changing, he's starting to accept it. And he himself says here that, I mean, of course I do. We had hands and all. Yeah, that's basically like, but Yamada's always touchy with her friends. And he's like, again, having second guesses and all. And he's like, oh, maybe she thinks of me as a friend. And he's like, what do you think? And he's like, you might be right. Because this is literally his alter ego. So, yeah. Okay, now he kind of gives him like an idea. He says, like, why don't you try manning up and getting in shape? If she's still hanging all over you after that, then that means, okay, I don't understand what he's trying to say here. Like what does he mean? If he starts acting like starts training and everything, like, why? Like, I really don't understand what he's trying to say here. Like, it would make sense if it was the reverse. Like, but it doesn't make sense. Why don't you try manning up and getting in shape? If she's still hanging all over you, then that means, I really don't understand what she's trying to say here. Like why would she stop hanging out with him if he starts getting in shape? Like, I feel like, wouldn't it be the reverse? Like, I don't understand this part. Anyways, he tries to do a push-up, and that's one of the worst push-ups I've ever seen. Like, yeah. God damn it. But you know what? at his defense, I guess, like, like when everyone starts doing push-ups for the first time, they probably do it like that. Well, I myself was probably doing it like that when I, like, did it for the first time, so I can't blame him. Anyways, a message comes in and it's Yamada who has, like, written good night. And there's like her in a Santa dress eating chicken. And he's thinking like, why do I always forget, like, these type of, like, like these feelings, these murky feelings whenever I'm with her. And yeah, says, like, writes a reply, and there you go. And then this weird section when he's all, like, just having like a nightmare, and just beside him that character, he's like, it's okay, all right, daijoubu, 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 it's okay, nothing to be scared of. That's funny. And that is where it ended. There you go. Yeah, that was this episode. A very wholesome, a very nice episode again. And they actually hung out together today in this episode. And like Yamada said, that, oh, don't disregard the upcoming few days. Maybe we'll meet again. So let's see. Let's see. Maybe they'll meet again. I'm pretty sure we'll have like a little Hashimode event. Maybe. Usually in rom-coms we do have one. So let's see. Let's see if we actually have one. And maybe we'll get to see, like, like Yamada and him together going to a shrine, and, like, Yamada and a yukata or something like that. Like, I don't know. Let's see next episode what happens. So that is it, guys. That is my reaction to episode number 10 of Dangers in My Heart. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button and subscribe. If you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed, comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know, and I'll check them out. Yeah, that is it, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode of The Dangers in My Heart. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.